Have you ever just looked at someone and wondered, how on earth are they so calm all the time? When everything's going crazy around them, they just seem cool. It feels like a superpower, doesn't it? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and unpack the 6 psychological habits that really set these incredibly calm people apart. I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. You've seen them, right? Stuck in a brutal traffic jam, facing a crazy deadline at work, maybe even in a tense family argument, and they're just steady. While the rest of us might be freaking out, they seem to be on a totally different wavelength. So what's the secret? Were they just born with it? Well, the great news is, psychology tells us no. It's not a gift, it's a skill. And the absolute core of that skill is right here. It's all about understanding this one crucial difference: reacting versus responding. A reaction, that's your gut feeling, right? It's instant, it's emotional, it's that automatic knee-jerk thing. But a response? That's different. A response is considered. It's thoughtful. You're making a conscious choice. Calm people have learned to live in that little gap between what happens and what they do next. They choose to respond. So where does that choice begin? It starts inside. Before you can handle the chaos of the outside world with any kind of grace, you've got to get a handle on your own inner world first. And that is built on 3 foundational habits. And here they are. This is the toolkit for building that inner fortress of calm. First, you get control of your thoughts. Second, you learn to accept reality for what it is. And third, you make that all-important choice to put your own peace above your ego. Let's break down that first one, controlling your thoughts. This sounds simple, but it's a game changer. Calm people don't let their minds run wild with catastrophic, worst-case scenarios. You know that what-if spiral? They just don't go there. Instead, they draw a super clear line in the sand. What can I actually do something about right now? And that's where they put all their energy. Everything else, they consciously practice letting it go. Okay, this next one is huge. Accepting reality. Now, this doesn't mean you're being passive or that you're just giving up. Not at all. It means you stop wasting your precious energy fighting battles that you literally cannot win. Your flight got canceled? That's a fact. You didn't get the promotion? That happened. Instead of screaming at the universe about how unfair it is, calm people just accept the facts and immediately shift their focus to, okay, so what's my next move? This quote just perfectly sums up that third inner habit. And think about it. How many arguments have you been in where halfway through you realize you're not even fighting about the issue anymore? You're just fighting to be right. Calm people get that the ego's desire to win is a massive energy drain. They're more than willing to trade that temporary hit of being right for the long-term benefit of just being at peace. So, once you've started building that solid inner foundation, how does it actually show up in the real world? This is where we pivot. Let's look at the habits that take all that internal work and translate it into calm, effective actions. And these are the big 3 practical skills for dealing with, well, everything else. It really comes down to this: learning to pause before you act, getting good at setting clear boundaries to protect yourself, and finally, freeing yourself from that trap of needing everyone to approve of you. Okay, remember when we talked about responding instead of reacting? The pause, that's the secret sauce. That's where the magic happens. When something frustrating happens, someone cuts you off in traffic, you get a rude email, a calm person doesn't just fire back. They take a breath. It might only be for 1 second, but in that tiny little space, they take back control. They shift from pure emotion to a thoughtful response. This one little habit can literally change everything. Now, before we jump into the next habit, let's just quickly get on the same page about what a boundary even is. The word can sound a little harsh, right? But it's not a wall you build to keep people out. It's much simpler. It's just a rule you set for yourself to protect your own mental and emotional well-being. Think of it like a do not disturb sign for your soul. And this is where that definition becomes an action. Calm people are not doormats. They know their own limits because they've taken the time to set those personal rules. So if their plate is already full, they can say no to taking on another project, and they can do it without feeling guilty. Why? Because they know their own peace is a resource worth protecting. And finally, the 6th habit. Oh, this one is so freeing. Calm people have managed to unhook themselves from the need to be liked by everyone. That constant worry about what will they think is a massive source of anxiety for so many of us. When you let go of trying to please everybody, you reclaim an incredible amount of mental and emotional energy. Your sense of self-worth starts to come from the inside, not from other people's opinions. So, after going through all 6 of these habits, What is the most important thing to take away from all this? It's this simple idea. If you've ever told yourself, oh, I'm just not a calm person, it's time to throw that belief in the trash. Because calmness is not some magical personality trait you either have or you don't. It's right here. It's not a talent, it's a habit. Or really, it's a collection of habits. I like to think of it as a muscle. Every single time you choose to pause, every time you choose to accept reality, every time you let go of the need to be right, you're doing one more rep. You're making that calm muscle just a little bit stronger. And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. Looking at these 6 habits, don't get overwhelmed and think you have to master them all at once. Just ask yourself this. Which single habit, if you started to practice it just a little bit starting today, would make the biggest difference in your life? Pick one and just start there.